I love it.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to a delirious day in the Milky Way, and it's going to be an entertaining one tonight, I can assure you. I'm not even going to, well, no, I guess I'll go through and name each and every one of them, but I know y'all, if you're alive and you've been on this channel, you know each and every one of these people. We got Steve from Slightly Slanted, what is it, 3-4 Truth now?
3-4 Truth, yep, completed Tree of Life.
Okay, I was wondering about that. I got Mr. Robert V, Pure Love Ascension, Julianne Payne, Kent Nichols, Trina Phoenix, Bridget Williams, and Brian Lunsford, A Cosmic Convergence. How y'all doing? This is the modern day Brady Bunch. Oh, and here comes Lyndall Davison. I knew we had somebody else coming in.
There you are.
So 10 makes the perfect number, I guess. It messed up our, we had the Brady Brunch going now. Lyndall had to throw a wrench in the system. I'm just kidding. Lyndall, you got to press video. Let me see if I can request it here. Sorry, folks, we're flying by the seat of our pants here, so you'll just have to bear with us. So,
no worries.
Uh-oh, we got a black box. There she is. Say something. Okay, you're going to have to unmute now. Look for a microphone on your screen.
Gotta jump the hoops.
Yep.
Yep.
I can hear you, I think.
Can you?
Oh, yeah, loud and clear. We're good to go now, folks.
All right, first time for everything.
Right, Steve's laying back in the cut over there.
We've been here before, Brian. Remember?
What's that?
Good. It always works out.
Sometimes it does. I don't see we're already having audio issues. You might want to check your connection, Brian. Before we first, let me clear up one thing. Today is not my birthday, folks. Well, actually, in Australia, it is. That was a little mix up, but it is my man Steve's birthday today. We happen to have back-to-back birthdays. So last year, didn't we share last year's birthday together?
Yes, we did, sir.
That's what I thought. So continuing with traditions, here we are.
Well,
And just to throw a wrench in the system, I figured I'd invite 9 or 8 other people. So here we go. I know Julie wanted to start us off. She had a quick poem, and I'm sure she'll have another one to share with us. And like I said, I'm not really sure how this is going to go. We're just going to hang out and have some fun, share some poetry, show some artwork, do whatever. Y'all get involved in chat, and if y'all want to talk about something, we'll talk about something. So anyway, without further ado, Miss Julianne Payne.
Well, this little poem's about really what we're going to be talking about today, creatives. So what's your pure pose? What's your gifts? What's your frequency as we lift? Thank you for your gifts and talents as we rose, and thank you for being you and being your pure pose.
That's awesome.
Yay.
Everybody, because it's pure and pose when you undo the spell. So you're doing what you love.
Awesome.
You know, it's funny. Everybody knows that I do daily affirmations and things like that. And, you know, pretty much about every day I get some kind of poem or, you know, a breakdown of words from Julie, so that she's kind of been included in my daily affirmations. I'll open up an email and see what she sent me to, you know, a little poem or whatever. And I do my affirmations, get my day going. So thank you, Julie.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. That was very nice.
All right, anybody else want to share next?
Well and come. WELL and come. So we come well.
Yes, we do.
Indeed, we do.
Absolutely. I love how Julie does her word magic because
I know. It's
she makes everything apart. Yeah, awesome.
They call them word salads.
I mean, you can get lost in that big time.
I like
At one mint, atonement, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
The whole English language is a spell, and that's what I say. I'm an agitator. I undo the spell, you know, that's my job. It's to undo it because we've been under it for a very long time.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very, very, very true.
I'll just give you, just while we're all and then I'll be quiet, but I'll give you the mythology of Hermes, Trismegistus, and Mercurial. Now, Hermes is he and Hermes, which we are all that. We are he and her, and we're me's. You've got Mercurial, which is me are, see, you are, I all, or me are, see, you are, Q are, I am all of it. Or we've got Trismegistus, which is the three of me to the heart or core of us. Trismegistus. So we're in all of those words. So
Yeah.
we are it.
Nice, great. Yep.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Never
Couldn't
looked at
put
it like
any
that.
Yeah.
That's the spell we've been under. When you pull the English language apart, you're free from it. Anything that's got I-A-double-L or I-A-L on the end of it, I put the extra L on it because we stand upon two L's. They are our legs. They're examples, L and E-G. We stand upon them. And this
That's
is our
where-
temple, our
Yep.
crown, and we're it.
That's where Israel comes from.
Yeah,
So the
Ah.
English language really was created for spell casting.
that's right. It is. And it's back to front, inside out. I was looking at the word chamber yesterday, and it has amber in it. And amber is actually an electron. They had it as ELEKRON, and KRON is your crown. And it's electrons going off in it. And that's amber. See in the chamber. This is the upper chamber where the electrons are firing.
I just love your accent, by the way.
And Julie, I don't know what it is. You look totally different today for some reason. You look
Because-
younger.
Well, thank
I
you.
think we all do.
You do, Brian. You do.
We all do, I
You're
swear.
older.
Yep.
We're
Time is
living in a
turning back.
different reality.
I'm talking about, you know, because you're
Getting old. We're not getting old.
No, we're getting better.
Getting better.
Right.
Exactly.
Better.
Yeah.
Who did we lose?
Hmm?
Lindo.
Yep.
Lyndall, we did, didn't we? Crap. Oh, well, hopefully she'll pop back in.
Mm.
I think she said she had an unsteady connection anyway.
Oh.
I'm having that problem too, B.
Yeah, I know. I had to mute you for a second. I figured I'd let you get it together down there. I'm telling you, well, number one, you know, when we just have a couple of people come together on, you know, doing these shows, we have a lot of energy. I can't imagine now with, you know, 9 of us, the energy that's flowing through here. Woo. We're probably setting off fireworks. And,
You can feel it on the other side too, you know.
oh,
Feel
big
it
time.
as the chatter as well. You pick up on that.
That's for sure.
I've tried to explain it to
Like-
people when they come on here, like, you know, and I used to do it a lot more. I guess I just expect people to to know it now. But anytime, you know, first time people come on this show, like, you know, I'd try to warn them, like, man, you're going to feel a lot of energy. And like, I'd get done with these shows, like, and just be jacked up, can't go to sleep all night. And that's like you know, Trina knows, like, I've been struggling, I've just been tired, and I'll be like, that's all right. Here about 5 minutes into the show, I'll be feeling that energy, and it does. It just boosts you right up.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Mhm.
We can transfer and transmute that energy, and that's doing it unknowingly.
Just
Yeah.
about choosing it, right? Just about
Mhm.
choosing to be positive and to come from that level. That's
Actually,
the best.
I've noticed on the show a lot now, a lot of the negative or disturbing forces and stuff like that don't seem to have much play on it anymore. Not like when for a while there, you know, when it was kind of like in a battle, it doesn't seem to be like that anymore. There's a lot of protective energy around this forum for speaking, for sure.
Well, you know, a lot of that has to also be like, you know, I try to be more mindful of what I allow into my reality. I mean, that makes a huge difference. So if you don't
Yes.
buy into that sort of thing, of course, it's not going to affect your reality as much.
Bingo.
That's right.
Mhm. Well, and the bigger your reality gets by including other people, it's a bigger buffer zone too.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I've said, you know, a lot of people, I get a lot of videos and stuff sent to me, and I don't mean any offense of it, but, you know, if I open it up and see it's about that virus thing or something, I delete it. It's no offense to y'all, but I just don't want that in my reality at this.
Don't want
keep that
anything to
away.
do with it. Yep.
Yeah.
I've
Not having it.
this last week, this last week, it's just, I'm not even really entertaining it anymore or something like that. I'm not allowing it into my feeling patterns and stuff like that. Did the battling when the battling needed to be done, and it doesn't need to be done anymore. I mean,
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
right. The energy
That's
shifted.
it.
Well, if it isn't the coronavirus, it's Rocket Man. If it isn't
Hey,
Rocket,
don't be saying that word.
Oh,
dude.
oh my gosh, don't say that word.
Mm-mm. Don't be
Not
saying
that word.
They're so touchy, you
Yeah,
know?
dude, I've got cut off like
Not good.
2 or 3 times in the past couple weeks. So
oh,
don't
so
say
the word.
don't say the T word either. None of them words.
I didn't say T
None of
word.
it.
Ron, call it dose some with.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about anything but that, and then we'll be good.
please.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, next.
well, and all of those things are just constant cycling ploys. There's always going to just be the next one. So I mean, it is overcoming anything that's brought out to be negative. I actually just had a really comical version of that, and I started sending it out to people where it said, the flame throwing squirrels have now arrived from Asia to North America. So we have to beware the flame throwing squirrels. And I love it. Like it
I
really,
mean, you have to laugh.
it brings a humorous side to that fear technique that's always used against us. You could actually turn it around and kind of have some fun with it. And, even people that are within fear, I thought, you could have some fun with it and play on it a bit so that their minds, anybody that's trapped within it, can kind of expand out of it and think, yeah, that is kind of funny, or kind
Just
of
diffusing it is what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're diffusing it and deflecting. Yep.
That's what my surname is. I'm a pain. So whatever you see in me, I reflect it right back at you.
You're a pain in more ways than one.
Whatever you see in me, you're it as well.
That's
Right?
it. Yeah.
Oh, I am a pain in the ass. What do you say? I'll be the first to admit it.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love
Brian
mine.
sent out a thing to me today. He's growing all of these plants and everything in these separate pots, and it was really cool, really inspiring, because I'm about 1 month away from moving out to my property on the island, and that's one of the first things I'm going to do is do a whole bunch of multi-planting and growing, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to being in getting back into an area where I live within a heavy nature zone at all points in time, and then kind of expand out, do what I have to out of that. But I saw a couple very inspiring quotes this week that just kind of hit me right in my soul. One was a Tibetan monk saying about how do you live long and happy, and it said, you eat half and you walk double. And I was like, yeah, that is very, very great words of wisdom. And I saw another one this week, and it said, what did it say? It said, at any moment in time in your journey, you can always choose a new path, which means that from every second, even from this very second that we are speaking right now, if there is a new path that can be chosen, it doesn't have to be a new path, but it can be a better path. And this is what coming together and hearing from each other and being inspired by each other and understanding each other's portion of our journey. Even though we're connected, we're separated, but these are the moments where we can bring just an inspiring new journey. It's just something to each other where we go, yeah, absolutely. Like Julie just brought to us how we understand words better, and the nature. And Steve goes deep into his understandings of certain esoteric, whether they be through text, through meditation. So he brings that, and we all just bring so much from our own personal journeys. And the best part of it is we don't even have to we don't have to fight about them. If there's anything from somebody else's journey that inspires you to take your journey better, that's really what we should be looking for. And it's not always been the easiest thing in the past, but as we grow, that should be something that we grow with. Like, what inspired me today? It could be from anywhere at any point in time. It doesn't matter. It's just personal to you. So
Absolutely. Well said.
Bingo.
That's the free will we have. We have that free will you're talking about to choose whatever path we want. But in order to choose a different path, we need that knowledge and inspiration to make the right decisions. If you keep running in the forks in the road, which fork is the right path? And if you make the wrong decision, it's going to, if you take one road, it'll lead you one place and the other road's going to lead you somewhere else. But if you don't have any knowledge, you're just going to pick random paths and your life is going to be a confusion, a mess.
Did you know that's what the pyramid represents in essence, is exactly what you just described? Because at the base is all of the conflagration of all information. And as we discern the truth out of that information, we make the bricks that build the pyramids that get capped, and that means that it slowly rises to the truth of what things are, by assembling the clay, making bricks out of that clay. You build your pyramid, which gives, structure. And that's exactly why there's pyramids around the world. Not the only reason, of course. There's all kinds of reasons.
Metaphysical reason.
Yeah, but I mean the allegorical,
yes.
Exactly.
Understand the world you live in so you know how to navigate through it.
Very good. Yeah. Yes. Right. And you guys are spot on. I mean, Ken, that was awesome, because all of our journeys are going to be specific to us because we're seeing it through our eyes, and no matter how much we try to convince somebody else that there's water on the other side of the street, when you can't see over the hump of the street, they're not going to believe it until they're swimming in it, and so.
Yeah.
Like a horse, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, and what we
I appreciate
perceive
that.
is what we believe. So what we see is what we're creating, actually. So it's actually super powerful. Nobody can see what you're seeing when you're seeing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the
That's
top
the
of the
narrow
tree
path,
and there's infinite views. That's
Specific.
my dad used to say, top of the tree, pick of the orchard. So if you climb the top of the tree, you can see everything. And then there's all different views. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. You're just able to see all view. That's really what the fifth dimension's about, is not buying into the trauma and drama of it and allowing everybody to be who they are.
That's it. That's it. I agree.
Bridget, you're gonna have to get in where you fit in this group. I'm telling you, if you don't speak up, you'll never get a word wise. Or she might be froze up down there.
Oh no, maybe that's why she's quiet.
Yep, she was. Okay.
It's gross, yeah.
Well, who's gonna go next? Somebody else got another one to go next to start a new conversation on all of this. Who's reading the next book?
Well, I can read one that I absolutely love called Ascension.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. It says, Ascension. I feel my God, flame touch my brow, the breath of love, eternal now. I raise my eyes and I do see.
Am I on?
Yeah, you're on. Hold on 1 second. She's reading a poem.
You're on. You're good. Okay. A dazzling cloud envelops all. I hear my own God presence call. I feel a surge of love's great might. I enter deep in its breath, in its light. I see within this pulsing flame. I listen and hear my sacred name. I feel the glow, the great flame's breath. I am the victor over death. I stand forth free, ascended now. To my heart's light, all things do bow. I am a being of cause alone, and that cause, love, the sacred tone. I pour out life, I lift, I raise. My heart overflows and sings in its praise. My power strengthens and inspires. My great light rays are God's own fire. I am a sun, my love, its light. All else grows dim, earth lost to sight. I know that I am God, the one, the source, the great, eternal, central sun.
Haven't you
Beautiful.
read that before? I know
Yeah,
I've heard
one
that
of my
before.
most favorites.
Okay.
One of my most favorites.
You know what
Bridget.
that central sun is, right, Trina?
Huh?
You know what that central sun is, right?
Yeah.
The singularity, the null point.
And how I see it is the central eye of this universe.
Very good,
That's
yes.
how I see
Hmm.
it in my vision. Yeah.
Because we're
Like
all
the
in Milky
sun
Way.
behind the sun. Yep.
Let's do a sound check on Bridget.
Okay, am I there?
Yeah,
Yep.
there we go.
Okay.
Like I was saying, if you want to get something in on here, you better just speak up because
I was just I was just listening to everybody and their words of wisdom, and I was just waiting patiently.
this is the wrong group for that. That's what I'm telling you. You just got to speak up.
Go for it, Bridget.
Yeah.
Okay. I really don't have really much to say, other than some art I've been working on,
Oh, cool.
and this one I'm doing for my my great niece, her daughter. I'm getting this done for her birthday. She likes
That's cool.
Vampirina. And
Oh,
I did
that's
her
cool.
Oh,
cartoon character.
Wow.
Thank you.
Love it.
That
did
is awesome.
I did
that's
gouache.
nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's so cute.
Thank you. And this one is my favorite. I just got through doing. It's from I'm a big fan of Disney and animation and stuff. And this is from Disney's Frozen and Rise of the Guardians. I did a fantasy painting of it.
Oh,
oh,
wow.
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 Like from people on my Facebook and stuff, and it's kind of cool because it feels good to do something you love to do.
That's amazing.
And hear the responses from it. It's just
Yeah.
good vibes. It's good vibes, and I just enjoy doing it, and that's all that matters. Is because that's something I've always done is art, and it's something that puts me in my happy place.
Absolutely, any form of creativity like that, just to get it out. I mean, we all play our own parts, and I wish I could draw. That's one thing I've never been able to draw. And
Me
my way
either.
of expressing is just through making the videos. So, you know,
Mhm.
however your outlet is, just let it shine, and that's beautiful artwork. Especially, I can't. My hardest thing when I tried to draw was like capturing faces and the details in the face and things like. So hats off to you. I would take my hat
Yeah.
off, but it's
I
probably
have trouble drawing a stick figure.
right.
Still learning.
Yeah, I've never been good at drawing the faces either. The faces are always the hardest thing. You can never just do them right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's still a learning process. I'm still going through trial and error. If you guys only knew how many pieces I've wasted, paper, mat boards, canvases, I would be like almost complete on a painting and I'll be like, I don't like it. I'm starting over again.
Let me ask you, do you ever feel like maybe it's almost like you're taking over or something? I know that sounds weird, not really possessed, but like sometimes when I do these videos, it's like I'm just a conduit and there's this creative force moving through me.
In
Yeah.
your essence, that's what you are.
Yep, you're the vessel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting because I do when I get into my paintings, I'm in another world. I'm not here, and it's like time don't even exist. It's weird.
Yep.
It's interesting you mention that, Brian, because it's like I'm just completely in a zone, they call it, like football
It's a
player.
form of channeling.
It is.
Yeah,
That's
It's a
what
form
I've
of
always
channeling.
called
it's like you're just in a whole other reality. Really, it's weird. It's like you're just not here. You're just completely in another world, and it feels that way when you're doing art.
it. Maybe
All
you
great
are.
paintings are channeled the same way, like you're saying, and there's great esoteric meaning to them from that. You know, like the creation of Adam painting, or the Last Supper painting. You know, and all of the information them paintings carry. I'm sure not all of it was known to the painter. Maybe, you know, like
Oh yeah.
Michelangelo did.
Yeah.
You know, the Orion Nebula being embedded in that painting, how would he know what the nebula looked like when there wasn't even a telescope yet? You know?
Wow.
Because
Yeah.
we already have that information encoded in us.
Yes.
It's
And I
like
agree.
an intuition. It is. It's like a psychic intuition. You just see it in, like Trina talks about the imagination a lot in her readings and stuff. And that's been so inspiring. I love listening to her read and talk about the power of the imagination, because that's exactly what it is. Is because like all these paintings you see of like Renaissance and stuff, you think, what do these people really look like, you know, during the biblical times or during the times of Egypt? You know, how do they know what this looked like? How do they know what that looked like? And it's amazing how these artists are able to get this right down to pat. It's amazing. It's almost like you said that they are in this like this channeling state, and they're seeing something in their imagination. And they're taking that information up and they're applying it onto canvas or paper or board or whatever. And it's a way of communicating. It's a language. I believe art is a language.
Oh,
I do
absolutely.
too. I think it is too.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know,
Agreed.
like Steve was talking about the Last Supper. I mean, you know, they're even finding out with the rhythm of the way the disciples were laid out that it comes out to be a whole bar of a song. I mean, do you think
Yes.
that Da Vinci actually planned that? I mean, if he
Okay.
did, like, Lord have mercy, he was genius. But all of the hidden symbology in it, you know, I think he was just like we were talking about, being led. He was that conduit.
Yeah. And I think too, you know, that's the brilliance of art, and being when you're connected to those higher realms, you're getting these images and they're conveying it on the canvas. And the art, like we said, the more we look at the Last Supper, the more we decode it and decode the wisdom in it. And like you said, did Da Vinci know all of what he was putting into that painting, or did he know the majority of it, but his higher self was putting in stuff that he wasn't even really aware of, and it was a gift for us later to decode it.
And the word code is C-O'd. See? All the letters with a C in it is to see. So C-O'd to joy. Your core is C the ore. Because it's A and there's no C, it's S-double-E. So when I say magic, it's the magi see, and music is the muse I see, and imagination is I magi nation, because I am the Margos born. We all are that.
Yes.
That's when you undo the spell. You can see how powerful it is, as in potential is potent. I'm all of it. Potential.
It blows my mind that much thought went into creating the English language.
Well, it's now.
It's not thought though. It's just an
It's
automatic.
breaking down of word origins. Would that be?
But it's now
all of our reality is just automatic. You know what I mean? And it's done in a divine fashion where it just accumulates, and that's what we essentially are, is accumulation of the, you know, of the animal kingdom. You know, and that's gender, generation, regeneration. And that's where it culminates. And that's, you know, with the Last Supper painting, to me, Jesus is the light, and surrounded by the 12 cranial nerves in the head, the 12 zodiac signs, you know, as above, all of that stuff, you know. And it's like the pyramids again, everything is just everything. It's weird. You know, the onions are layers are one right after another when you just keep diving into it, and it's
Doesn't end. It just doesn't end.
It's just circles upon circles upon
That's it.
circles upon
It's an
circles.
8 all day long.
Yep.
You want a funny poem? Do you want to hear a funny poem?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Righto.
yes.
Okay, here we go. Break it. We'll do something different.
Okay.
This one's called Laugh. Life is funny, life is great. Laughing with yourself and your mate. When you're laughing, rolling round on the floor and you're laughing, laughing, laughing some more. Your sides ache and you're peeing as well. You're going red and you're starting to swell. You need a breath, a quick gasp. How long is this going to last? Mate says, are you okay? I've never felt this good, I say. The pain of joy in my belly is moving up and down like jelly. People are gathering to see what's go. Nothing, I say. Don't you know? I'm just being silly and playing about it. I've been acting up and being allowed. That's what you do when you're having fun. It's been going on since the world begun. Just start laughing. See the funny side. Come out of your shell. Please don't hide. Everyone will come join in. It is infectious. We all win.
Oh, that's
Love it.
amazing. I love
That's
that.
good.
That's so good.
That's very good.
Julianne, do you think like that all the time? Every time you say a word, you just like constantly breaking everything down?
Well, I'll tell you how it first started, because if everyone had ever told me you were going to be a poet, I would have said, I don't think so, because I wasn't really into it. But I was listening to Will I Am, and look at his name, from the Black Eyed Peas, and in his album, which was Energy Never Dies, and that was the end, the acronym is Energy Never Dies, and I heard him say, economy, and I went, oh my God, economy, like it's conning me. And then I started writing, and I put potential was the first poem I pulled potential apart. And I thought, how more potent are you than saying you've got potential? Potent, I'm all of it. So that's where it first started. And then every time I look at a word, I can just say, oh my goodness, look at that. It's, you know, I just keep pulling them apart now, because I'll just show you. This is my dictionary, my spell book. Look how big it is.
Wow.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That was left to me down the family line. And I was also interested, I always read metaphysical books when the first one I ever read was in 96 when I first woke up as such. I was in my business, and I was reading, You'll See It When You Believe It, you know, Dr. Wayne Dyer's. And then the synchronicities just kept coming from 96 onward. But I was reading a Dan Brown book, and it was on symbols and the Freemasonry. And I thought, oh, I wonder what a Abaddon is, because that was the person in the story that was the bad person as such. I said, what's an Abaddon? So Julianne always reads back the front. So I went to the back of my dictionary, and it had proper names and scripture words. And Abaddon was called, he meant destructive. And I thought, oh my goodness. So that's how I went and looked up Hebrew stuff and started to pull the words apart, because Hebrew are all acronyms. And so are a lot of our words. Like when I was on once before, I think I might have swore a couple of times, and everyone said you're cursing. Well, they're actually not real words. They're acronyms. So the word for SHIT is store high in transit, because everything, our language has a lot to do with ships and stuff, the sea. And so they put all the effluent at the top of the ship so it wouldn't blow it up. And then they just put SHIT, store high in transit.
Wow. Fascinating.
And it's the same as that word that, you know, that starts with F. It's an acronym as well. It come out of the court. And the same as golf, gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. Wish is what I say happens.
Yep.
So there's a lot of acronyms that we've taken on as words, because all Hebrew letters, each letter means something. So it's not just a word, each letter means something. So Bethlehem means house of bread. And what do you do in a house
Bingo. Very good.
And what do you do in a house of bread? You rise.
Well, the house of
That's
bread
it.
is our forehead too, because the symbol for house of bread is the arch, you know?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. If you look at the word architecture, it's art, arch, high tech, you are all architecture. Art.
We're the ark.
They're up.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
High tech, and tech means builder, and you are all of it. We're
Makes
all of it.
sense. Yep, makes total
Yep.
sense.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep. Every word you can virtually pull apart. It is English is a spell. It's been put together.
I've heard it called Anglish.
Yeah, Anglish, because all the
Yes.
capital letters are angles. You look at a H.
Yes.
You look at
And the
H,
language
like
of the
ladder.
angels.
Yeah,
Fire
it's an angle.
tongue. Yes,
actually-
angels.
They're
Yes.
angle beings. They're angle beings.
Yes.
We're all
It's a
angles.
book of spells and it's a book of angels. What kind of angels are they?
Angles
Angle.
of light.
They're angle beings. That's all they are, because they're looking at it from a different angle to us.
Yeah.
You know, they're just
Yes.
angles.
I thought Trina said angels too. Okay. I knew the angels,
Yes,
yeah.
but angels are angles because they arc energy and
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's right. And
Yep.
you look at the word sovereign, it means super and above, right? And it
Yes.
means supreme. Well, they've
Yes.
just changed the E and the R around because it's super me, supreme,
I
super me.
love that.
Hmm. Wow.
They've mucked with the language to keep you under control. And once you
Words are
undo it,
swords, swords are words. They cut you, and yeah.
Well, and I
Mhm.
love it, like they say, okay, you go through childhood. It's like they put a hood over the child because when children go to, to school to become indoctrinated,
Yeah.
indoctrination, it's like it's line you up and they put you in formation, they feed you information, they give you television, all the
Live
codes
vision.
are in the word.
language is
Well,
just the
lived is
land
devil
guide.
and live is evil.
That's right.
Correct.
Yeah,
Language
that's true.
language means land gauge. They take
Hmm.
letters out and they put letters in and they swap them around, and it's just
Well, like,
I just don't see the English language any other way now. Every time I think of a word or I say something, I think about you, Julianne Payne, because I start breaking that thing down and I'm like, hey, maybe, yeah, it works.
I went through that stage
You
till I
know,
about
yeah,
went
The
nuts.
first person ever did that was Jerry Runk, and I just had to drop his name because Jerry Runk's always in my mind, and he was the one who showed me that at one meant is atonement.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow.
Jerry's always in my
It's
heart.
funny you brought him up, Steve, because I was going through my voice messages today and I had one from Jerry.
Me too, but I went through them the other day and I had one from him.
Yes, and
I
it was
saved
just
it, though.
so good to hear his voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't believe how many shows I did with that guy.
Man,
met
I
him
lost
through
all
Milky Way.
mine. It breaks my heart.
yeah.
Breaks all of our heart, Brian. That really, because a lot of your videos and stuff, we'll go back and re-listen and get more things out of it. I don't think you realize what an impact you make on everybody out here. I wouldn't be sitting here had I not watched your channel, Wayne's channel, Trina's channel. This brought me out of my shell. And I want to
That
thank you
makes
for
it all
that.
worth it.
Yeah.
yeah. Same here. Same here.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Same Robert V. Yep.
And anybody else
Okay,
out
well-
there, you can do it too.
That's
So
right.
on a little bit of appreciation for Milky, I wrote you a little poem, Brian. For,
Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's called the Milky Way. Once I wished upon a star, wondering where you all are. I fell into the Milky Way, new friends and connections. I found my place. Brian, your dream come true. I fell into the Milky Way to find you. I
Oh,
looked up and now I see wisdom, gnosis, and mystery. The stars, the light, the me, the you. We search until we found this group. We dove into the Milky Way and finally we found our soul tribe. We found the soul tribe here on this ground. So thank you, Brian. Without you, this could never be. It's your voice ringing the frequency we want to receive. So happy birthday, Brian. You are as royal as the lion. So much love we have inside, the love of us, your soul tribe.
that's right.
We dove into the Milky Way, wanting to see And through love and truth, we found this family. Happy birthday.
Thank
Oh,
you
that's
so
sweet.
much.
That's so sweet,
Yay.
Trina.
Trying to make me cry over
Love
here.
that.
The Milky Way. We
That's
found
so
our
awesome.
tribe, and it's all because of you.
Thank you.
It
That means the
really
world to me.
is. Yeah. Amazing.
And Steve, happy
Say-
birthday to you.
Yes, Steve,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday.
Steve, I wrote a poem for you.
Oh, yeah. I was
Here
waiting
I
for
sit
it. I
all
didn't think you were
broken
gonna share it
hearted. I
in
come to
public.
shit, but only farted.
That's so old. My grandmother farts dust.
Right. I mean,
And I
first thing
did
that came to
think that,
mind.
Brian, you are a few hours away from your birthday, and it's already your
Oh, look at that.
birthday. And Steve, it is your birthday, so I thought as a group we could sing happy birthday.
Oh, my
Ah,
gosh.
there we go.
Hey, first I got to
Let's
say
do-
something that I
Hey,
seen on
Trina,
on
do I get to pick my piece off that cake?
Huh? I got a cake, yes.
Wow, a cake.
A cake for Steve and Brian. So you guys want to sing happy birthday?
Sure.
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 Then you guys
Okay.
make a wish and I'll blow out your candle. So you get a wish because everybody gets to make a wish on their magical day of solar power. So
There we
happy
go.
birthday, you guys. Much
Thank
love to
you.
you both.
All righty, everybody
you so
join in.
much.
1, 2,
Happy
3.
birthday
birthday to
to
you.
you.
Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday to you.
Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, dear
Brian and Steve.
Steve.
Happy
Steve,
birthday to
Happy
you.
birthday to you.
And many more.
Awkward.
Yay! All right, you guys make a wish. Make it a good one.
Remember, wish is what I say happens.
Yes! Yes, Julianne!
Nice.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
made my wish, but my wish has already come true. So
All
Oh,
Right
right.
on.
And that was,
Ready,
that was
Steve?
that
Okay,
was
I'm
the
gonna
right
blow out
thing
the
to do, right?
candle. May both of your wishes come.
I do. It didn't do anything. It must be that virus.
Here, I got a good one for you. I seen on Messenger, a buddy of mine sent me. He says, roses are red, grass is greener. If you think I'm wearing a mask everywhere, you can just suck my.
I think I might have almost done that to a few people in the last couple of weeks.
That is funny.
That's classic.
That's
Steve.
good.
I'll recite you another poem. You want another one?
Yeah, Trina, I want you to send that poem you wrote for me, please.
Hmm.
She didn't hear me, but I'll get it. Please, Julie, go ahead.
I just got to go. So everyone, you can go on Crystal Connect, and get my book. It's free on there if you want to read. Some of
Crystal
my
Network?
poetry. Yeah,
Crystal Network.
Yeah, the Crystal Network. Yeah.
Oh,
So
crap.
what's
I
wrong?
love your dogs, Trina.
I forgot
They're
I
so
wanted to-
cool.
I wanted to post a link. David Barry did a Discord chat room, and it's going to be open 24 hours a day. And I know a lot of people in this community would probably want it. While she's reading that poem, I'll find it and put it in chat.
Right, I'm already on that Discord.
Yeah,
Oh, my.
I was on the Discord this afternoon and put on there that you were having a show today. So hopefully,
Don't
Awesome.
give that app a permission to change things in your system because it takes over.
Oh, that's
Telling
good
you.
info. Good.
It does it.
What's
It
that?
sets itself in the boot file.
Uh-oh. Can't get in the boot. No boots
Oh,
here.
Stay out of the boot.
I don't know nothing about any of that stuff.
Rightio, you ready, everybody?
Yes.
I guess so. Go ahead.
Come one, come all. The second coming is us all. When did you last come? Get totally excited. Think of what that would be. Totally united, a love-in, an energy space, a total orgasm for the whole entire human race. So come get elated. Your vibration is celebrated. Come feel the joy and laugh out loud. It is infectious to the crowd. The magic airwaves, get into the groove. Everything is coming. Can you feel the move? What can you see? Just relax. All coming to a head. Total climax. Yes, it is sexual. Do you know what I mean? All this new energy we have never ever seen. Yes, we have. We're just remembering.
I like that.
I like that a
That's
lot.
so Aussie.
Very good.
I love
That's
That
really
was
good.
Aussie.
I
Very
really
good.
like that.
I don't know
Now
where you come up with
remember-
stuff like that, but that is just unbelievable. I can never come up with that. I had to find stuff out of books I got books that I wrote or looked up, but that's amazing.
Yes.
Well, a lot of
Thank
them
you.
come from when I was laying on the grass connecting at my place because I've got acreage and I'd just go and lay on the grass or I'd be weeding or I'd be doing something and I'd have to run upstairs. And so they're all written back from 2010, 2011, 2012, most of my poetry, like what's in my book. And so the one that I did, which is called Eccentric, which, we're all a bit like that. I was weeding my honeysuckle plant, and honeysuckle in the flower kingdom is about letting go. And of course, it was really letting go. And I had this poem come called Eccentric. So brilliance, brilliance, eccentricity, brilliance, brilliance, regenerative energy. Eccentric means off center and not the same. It doesn't mean you've lost the plot and gone insane. It could mean different or even irregular. It could mean something like quite peculiar, who'd like to be unusual and change the world, because the ones that are unusual are the ones that change the world. Now, that was the honeysuckle that gave me that.
I got to tell you something. That was beautiful. You're a beautiful.
Yes, it
soul.
was.
Yeah.
Yes,
That-
it was.
Very good.
Have a way
It's-
with words.
Thank you. And everybody's got a gift. And that's what the other poem, which, I handed it out when I wrote this back in 2010, which I went down and handed them out in the street because I do a lot of community work in Gympie with artists and stuff. So everything's the opposite of how it appears to be. And opposites spring opposites. So now what do you see? Black or white or grey matter. It's how we share our talents, the spread that's on the platter. All different, but from the same seed. A mole sells electrons, generating this new breed. Anything is possible, encompassing the all universal elements, all creatures great and small. On this our own journey, united though we stand, singing all together and dancing hand in hand, thanking each other for the craft that you have chose, acknowledging all for the flower we have rose.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Beautiful.
Boy, thank you for your gifts and talents there, Miss Julianne.
right.
Yeah.
This should be the
You.
one that put that in chat.
Oh.
Thanks for your gifts
Love
and talents
that.
in all ways.
Very
Yeah.
gifts.
Mhm.
Well, that's why I do it, is because I thank everybody. Everybody's got a gift and talent. And I'm not going to go and build a house. My husband can do that.
Recently, has everybody been experiencing this? I mean, this sort of letting go of the conflict and being grateful and have gratitude for what we do have. I mean, and
Yes.
the difference in each other. I mean,
Right?
I try not to pat myself on the back or
Okay.
try to
Yes.
fight out somebody's opinion that isn't in agreement with mine now. Whereas before I would always do that. And that's
Yep.
what you're projecting. And I appreciate that so much. So,
Yep.
Yay. Do you guys want to hear a small one I wrote?
Absolutely.
Okay. Activate the true sun in me, so now my eyes shall truly see. Turn all the cells of physicality into the light transmutation brings. The caduceus is the gift of the tree, the messenger of God in me.
Beautiful. Wow.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Like, it was just a little short one. I have a whole journal of different stuff I've written over the years. You want to
I'll
hear
be
this
able to do
one?
mine
This
on
one's
the
not
fly.
done. This one, when I was doing, I don't know if it's finished. It's kind of still a mess. But I called it Plato's Cave.
that title's
says-
already been used, I think, Trina.
Totally. You guys want to hear it? Like I said,
Yes.
it's a little choppy because it wasn't quite finished, but it says, this is the vision of shadows on the wall, deceiving into the cave or the containment that we went into the fall. The illusions of the false reflect upon the light. Remember, this is not the kingdom, I shouted with all my might. This is the house of shadows. How could we have known? But faith and trust in pixie dust, our love will get us home. We sit in the land of the queen or the Eve, the copying of our codes, of our tree or of our seed. In a reflective light, a prison of greed, death and rebirth are its only deed. Keeping all of those who cannot yet see. The freedom keys, remember, my dear, they've always been yours, yours indeed.
Awesome.
Very
So
nice.
cool. Thank you, Trina.
You're
Very
welcome.
cool. People are showing their creativity tonight. It's very cool. And
Yeah, it
Bridget,
is.
I actually used to do art for a long time when I was younger, and yeah, I sent art off to art shows across Canada and stuff like that. I ended up getting a bunch of my stuff stolen, but yeah, it's very cool. We just even the thought, like Ed O'Brien said, he has trouble with art or whatever, but really, if we find the zone, we all can create in all of these different zones. Like, growing up, I was in art, and then I was an athlete for a long time, and I never thought I'd sing. And actually, I'm going to kind of dedicate this next year to actually, with a buddy of mine, putting music forward and actually, doing that. So I'm going to put some stuff out on YouTube and this and that. But yeah, like we all have such incredible creativity to just to bring to everything. I can barely remember my life. It's funny when you talk about art, because I used to be quite into art, but I've gone through so many levels of spiritual awakening. Sometimes it's hard to even remember when I was in that level or when I was in that zone of creativity. It feels like a different lifetime, and we go through these different lifetimes and stuff like that. And actually, it's cool because you reminded me of something. And this upcoming year, I'm going to reacquaint with art again, but it's going to be a different kind of art. It's going to be an incorporation of craftsmanship and art together, and some creation of some really cool things. Like kind of like this last year, I built this van, and it's a piece of artwork inside. I'll have to really show some things. Like it's very. That's what we exist for, really, away from all this darkness and all this debauchery that is forced upon us. We are just creators of expression, and that's where we need to and should be. And when you live a full life, you live like multiple lives. That's the thing. Like we shouldn't be too afraid to explore those new areas of creativity, or you don't have to. You could expand just upon the areas of creativity that you want, that your heart brings you to. You don't have to be part of all of them. But yeah, it's when you're living. I mean, let's face it, and everybody knows that zone. I remember a game of hockey. I played like semi-professional hockey, and I remember a game that was in kind of a lower level than I was, and I had 11 goals in one hockey game, and
I hear you, Gretzky.
it was ridiculous. It was like, I know that zone. I literally didn't even feel like anybody else around me on the ice was even there. Anything that they tried to do, I could almost just move around, and it was just the most bizarre hockey game I ever played, because I just could not do anything wrong. It was
Being in the
weird.
zone. Yeah,
Yep.
you're in the
Yeah.
zone. Yep.
Absolutely.
I mean, what brings to mind when you talk about that, like especially with sports, is I remember seeing Michael Jordan when he would get in that zone, and like his teammates would be running by, wanting to give him high five and all that, and he didn't even know they were there. It was just him and the ball, in the court. Like, whew.
Michael Jordan is highly competitive. That's why he's always trying to be everywhere all at once. He's extremely competitive. Yep.
And he's wearing the number 23.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed.
Hey, Brian,
I wonder if that was coincidence.
Oh,
I've
no, no,
always
no.
been number 7. As a matter of fact, people that know me from back in my athlete days, many people would just call me number 7. They wouldn't even call me my name. They'd be like, hey, my name
When I heard
number
that,
7.
yeah,
It was weird. Like, yeah.
what was that on Grizzly Adams? Number 7.
Number 7, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was you gonna say, Bridget?
yeah, I was gonna say first is happy birthday to you. I kind of faded out when y'all were singing the birthday song because I had
That's
a
all right.
connection problem.
So you're gonna
Yesterday
sing
was
it
my
by yourself?
birthday. Yeah, yesterday was my birthday, so we share the same birthday.
Well,
so,
happy belated. Look, we got the 21st, the 22nd, and the 23rd all right here.
yeah,
Wow.
happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
happy
awesome.
birthday to you.
Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Bridget.
Congratulations on
Happy
another
birthday.
trip.
Awesome. Well, I'm born on the 24th. It just doesn't happen to be this month. So.
And Brian, I got my latest painting. I would like to show you. I'm in the process of working on. If y'all want to see it.
All right,
Yes,
let me
Of
see
course,
some.
yeah.
As I said in my comment on there, that I'm doing a project that has a lot of hidden esoteric knowledge encoded in the form of fan fiction.
Oh, okay.
It's like these downloads came to me. I won't tell the story. I'll probably tell in another time because it's kind of long. But I got inspired by this around Christmas and Thanksgiving. It was like a bunch of downloads came to me that led up to this, and so I felt led to work on this project of these two characters that represents the masculine and the feminine aspect.
Ooh.
And this is one. This is the latest I'm working on. I don't know if you can see it. It's outlined in white.
See,
Can you
lift
lift
Oh,
it
yeah,
up a
yeah.
little bit? Yeah.
Now tilt forward.
There you go.
go.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Wow. Bridget, you are an artist.
Thank you.
A very
Yeah.
good artist. Amazing.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Wow.
I'm telling a story with these mythological, legendary figures about the knowledge of the universe and creation and the earth. And I think it's a way to really reach out to, especially the young generation that really needs this knowledge.
Yeah.
Because they're so confused right now, and I just feel for them. And I've always had a deep connection with them because I feel like I can communicate to people younger than me, and I can relate to a lot of things that they are going through. So I feel like it's almost like my journey, my great work in process is to help the younger generation to see the bigger picture. And I feel like this artwork is probably going to be that catalyst of that.
Now, do you have a way of connecting with them, that younger generation?
Yeah, because I can, it's almost like I feel like as Wayne Steiger puts it, the child in me. That's the energy I've been experiencing with this. Is I feel like a little child in an adult body. I could feel like how a child feels about play and imagination, creativity, and fun, and taking that kind of energy and directing it towards the younger generation, like the teenagers and the younger people, and also at the same time being that balance of the mature masculine quality of responsibility and logic and reasoning, and the feminine of the care and the compassion. I learned a lot of this knowledge through Mark Passio. That's how I know a lot about this. He taught a lot about natural law and the sacred masculine, the sacred feminine, but he forgets about the child aspect. That's the 3 in 1.
It's funny you say it like that because to me, I don't look at it as a childlike aspect. I don't think we should have ever lost that spark. I think it was pretty much programmed out of us. Like,
That's right.
y'all were talking earlier about school and, the religion and all that. I don't think we should have ever lost that spark. I think it was pretty much them trying to program that out of us because that's what I feel and see now, the exuberance in it, it is childlike.
As soon as you find out Santa Claus ain't real is when it starts rolling down.
A lot of the occultists, they talk about the masculine and the feminine, especially a lot of the new agers, they talk a lot about the feminine quality. They leave the masculine out, and for sure they leave the child out, because it's like, oh, we don't need to be children anymore. We need to grow up. We need to, be masculine, logic, reasoning, and sterile. And then there's the other aspect. Let's just like cry and be emotional all the time. Where the child is fun, it's creativity, it's imagination, it's all of those. And it
You
needs
should
to have
embrace
that
all
balance.
aspects.
Hmm?
You should embrace all aspects, even
Oh,
negative.
for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's the family unit. That's the mother, the father, and the offspring, the man-child. It's all hidden in their code. It's all in there.
It's the base of that is the light in the dark in the abyss. That's the basic of it. So everything is the repetition of that. You're right. The 1, 2, the Fibonacci sequence, for instance, 1, 1. What is it?
5, 8, 13.
1, 1, 2, 3,
5, 8, 13, 20.
Yes, exactly. And that's exactly what it is. It's the propagation of our cyclical nature, and it's the light and the dark and the abyss, and
Yep.
the Father's Son and the Son of Man. The light. So yeah,
I have a little piece of art that I wanted to share, and this is not my artwork, but this is from an experience in my life where I was in a full-on battle with darkness, like to a point that it would be so hard to even explain if you weren't there with me. But the universe let me another fellow, and his name is Rob, and he's not with us anymore. And he was a few years older than me, not too many years older than me, but he was a spiritual warrior for the time he was like a kid. And it just happened to be, well, it didn't happen to be, the universe put us together. And I was working on an Applebee's restaurant, and he happened to be in the demolition crew, kind of a rough looking guy, kind of a biker guy. You wouldn't think much of him except for being like this rough, tough little biker. But I got to know him, and he had the heart of an angel, and he was an amazing, and I ended up living with him for about a year or two as roommates. We kind of lived, and we experienced so much supernatural, so much in this form of spiritual battle and stuff like that. And he taught me a lot of things that he knew from when he was a kid, and I taught him a lot of things that just came through me. I was like a walking conduit. It's just so hard to explain. But just in honor of him tonight, because this was a beautiful soul that walked this earth. He went down one night and he drew a picture. He said, "This came to me, can't you?" He goes, this is, I'm going to give you this picture because this is what you, or this reminds me of you. And he drew this picture in about 1 hour, one night, and just gave it to me. And I'm like, it's crazy, man. He was just an amazing artist. He drew that in literally probably half an hour one night for me. And
Holy crap.
Kent, you're freaking ripped,
romance
dude.
is wonderful.
You're
And I don't
ripped,
mean anything
Kent.
negative by that, 'cause I love many men, and I don't mean anything negative or sexual or anything about that. But that's wonderful. That's awesome for you to
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was great.
Yeah,
Amazing where
he was
people have
amazing
talents
artwork.
hidden.
And he was one of those type of people that nobody would know who he truly was. He just would never be seen as being that in the regular aspect of things. And I've seen him do some pretty amazing supernatural healing, and he was almost supernatural in strength and things, like just an interesting friend to have. He's left this plane at this point in time, but I guarantee you he's still on this plane battling, for us. He's that type of guy. So yeah,
I thought when we were sharing this art, I forgot that I even had that in my stuff, so I just went and dragged it out. But yeah, that shows his artistic talent to just whip that up in half an hour. So.
Got an example of some weird art that just came to me that I can show you. It's on my garage wall. I got to take my
green screen off. And then also I want to hear from Pure Love and Robert V. Y'all been quiet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just kind of watching.
Yeah, just experiencing it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Thank you everybody for being here. Truly,
It's our pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Double happy birthday.
Yes.
The garage.
Wow.
Yeah, that was with a paint roller.
What is it?
It's like a monkey skull with a mask and like ribbons flowing behind it.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it now.
I didn't notice what it was until 3-4 days later. It was weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool.
That and I got all the street signs I've nabbed.
Steve, maybe you manifested that.
I don't know. It was weird.
Oh.
Did he do it intentionally?
No, I didn't. No, it was weird. It just came to me. I did it with a paint roller.
Wow.
Wow.
You manifested it.
Yeah, it was weird.
You were connected,
that was
Steve.
beautiful, man.
That's for
Thanks
sure.
sharing that, man.
Yeah, Kent, you were ripped, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm a little softer than I once was.
I was gonna say, man, we've all went downhill. So what? And now I'm gonna put Pure Love and Robert V on the spot.
Okay.
All right.
You
go, Robert
first,
V.
Lori? Oh, okay.
You go ahead.
Well, I'm no poet. You know, so
you are a man of words, though. You got the voice, dude.
That I was just gonna say that I may not be able to write something really cool, but I can read something really cool, and I got some really old books. This is Longfellow Miles Standish book. I bought this a couple of years back. It's The Courtship of Miles Standish and some minor poems. That was, I think the printing on here is from 1917. Yeah, so it's old. I got a lot. I like to collect old books, lots of old books. I got 2 of them in here in this book. Oh, actually 3 in this book, and then I got one other one. Anyway, we could start with this one. They're all really short. Okay. And this one is the Psalms of Life. What the heart of the young man said to the psalmist. Okay, here we go. Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream, for the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, was not spoken of the soul. Now not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destiny's end or way, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts throughout though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating funeral marches to the grave. In the word's broad field of battle, in the bovine of life, be not like dumb driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Trust no future, however pleasant, let the dead bury its or let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present, heart within and God overhead. Lives of great men, all renowned, remind us that we make our lives sublime, and departing, leave behind us footprints on the sand of time. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing over life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, shall take heart again. Let us then be up and doing what the heart for any fate, still achieving, pursuing, learn to labor and to wait.
I like that.
Nice, Robert V.
What's that from?
Nice.
That is from the that's just from Minor Poems. This
Okay.
is from Longfellow.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Why does
yeah,
the name Miles Standish sound so familiar to me?
that was it's a story. The beginning here is a story, the story of Miles Standish,
Oh,
the courtship of Miles Standish.
Hmm.
It's a story. You know. Anyway, yeah.
Thank you
Well,
for
anyway,
sharing
that, huh?
I said thank you for sharing that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a good one. I had a whole bunch of them in here, and I read through them, and I kind of picked out, you know, like a few that would kind of fit the mood, you know, and I thought they were pretty cool, and you know, because there's some of them in there just kind of way overboard. But anyway, there's one about, you know, you guys were all doing the stars and the stuff, but I had one there for the stars, and this is the light of stars. Okay, the night is come, but not too soon, and sinking silently, all silently, the little moon drops down behind the sky. There is no light in earth or heaven, but the cold light of stars, and the first watch of night is given to the red planet Mars. It is the tender star of love, the star of love and dreams. Oh no, from that blue tent above, a hero's armor gleams. And earnest thoughts within me rise when I behold afar, suspended in the evening skies, the shield of the red star. O star of strength, I see thee stand and smile upon my pain. Thou beckonest with my mailed hand, and I am strong again. But within my breast there is no light, but the cold light of stars. I give the first watch of the light to the red planet Mars. The
Wow.
star. It goes on. The star of the star of unconquered will. He rises in the breast, serene and resolute and still, and calm and self-possessed. And thou, too, whoever's thou art, the readiest this brief psalm, and as one by one thy hopes depart, be resolute and calm. Oh, fear not in a world like this, and thou shalt knowing ever long, knowing how sublime a thing it is to suffer and be strong. There you go.
Awesome.
Nice, Robert V.
Very
Nice.
Thank
I was
Thank
gonna
you.
say something.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Those are a couple I picked out. I got a longer one and then one for an end. But
Oh, yeah.
Lori, why did you go to mix it all up?
Okay,
Hey,
sounds good.
Real quick, let me say just a couple of words. Number one, today's the 22nd. Today is the new moon. So if you're setting intentions, don't forget today is the day to do that. And also, I want to thank Robert V. He made a $25 donation, and Ann Allen made a $10 donation. So thank you both. Namaste.
Awesome. Good
Yeah.
job.
Lori,
There you go.
without further
Okay.
ado.
Yeah. So I don't consider myself a poet, but I was able to put something down, and it's I call it self-wisdom. Love yourself like the angels do. Love yourself like a god. Don't believe you're not worthy, because baby, you are. Look inside and you will see you are the driver of your own car. When you listen to your heart and not your ego, it may feel wounded, leaving a scar. Positivity and love always wins. It's how I choose to be. I make wise choices with great plans. I've just planted the seed to grow and expand. This is my message to me.
Love it.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
thank
was
you.
good.
Very good.
Oh,
That was totally awesome. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
I
Thanks,
got one
guys.
called Naked, and it's about planting seeds.
Totally awesome. Go for it. I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead.
you couldn't be more pertinent.
Naked. Garden ready. It starts to rain. Putting in carrots and beetroot again. Just picture this if you can, mud on my feet and mud on my hand. While putting in seedlings in the ground, have my sarong wrapped around. It becomes loose and falls apart. Oh my goodness, what a start. Now just think, what a sight. The carrots and beetroot have pure delight, something naked for them to see. The only problem, it was me. No problem.
Wow, that was perfectly complimentary to her poem.
Yeah.
That was. That was.
A lot of people are
Love
saying y'all
that.
should get together and put a book together. That is a pretty good
Yeah.
idea, actually.
Yeah. How many books
Yeah,
have
I-
you written, Julianne?
Into the Milky Way.
Hey,
That's the name of the book. So yeah,
If you haven't, you need
My
to.
heart.
Yeah, you should write a book.
Mhm.
Most definitely.
I thought you had, Julie.
Oh yeah, my books, this is not the front see over.
Okay. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, she's written books.
Oh, you have. Okay. All right.
So it's not the front
Seriously,
cover,
that's a good
see
idea.
over.
That's
And then you
clever.
flip it.
That's very clever.
It's so awesome.
Mhm.
I mean, come on.
Rose
Yeah.
to take you means like the earth is rising to take us, you know, and the rose, whenever you know, how can you not love a rose even though it's got pricks, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So it's like everything's polarity, you know.
It
So-
is.
So it's got lots of hidden little gems in there because each page is a leaf and you turn a new leaf, right?
Ugh.
Because it's a page.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you're
cool.
just too clever, aren't
Well,
you?
that is originally, I think, where the leaf of paper comes from, where she just spoke of. Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah,
where
well, the library, the word library, anything that's got ARY on the end
Yeah.
is holder, like in secret is secretary because it's the holder of the secret. So library with the ARY on the end of it, it means holder of the liber, which is the inner part of the bark, which is the paper.
beautiful.
Wow.
You go right along with what you just said. Orion, originate. You know.
Well, Aboriginal is AB, which I reckon is the plasma, the origin of all of us. And OHR is the word for or in Hebrew, which is light. So this, like that, when you go this or that. So you've got AB or I gene, which gene is the gene of all of us. The AB origin of all of us, Aboriginal.
Hey, Julie,
Mixing
I
up
got a
that word salad
question.
awesomely. That's awesome.
Julie, I got a question real quick. James Broom was asking in chat, do you know if anybody's ever written a book about actually breaking down each word of the English language? If
Oh, yeah, it's
not,
called
that's a
Enema
really
Book.
good idea.
Well, everyone says for me to do it, but like it's just a dictionary does do it. This old dictionary that
Yeah, I
I've got
guess.
does pull things apart and it will explain, like even each at the beginning of each letter where it says A or B, it'll say, oh, it's come from, you know, whether it's Greek or Hebrew. So you get to the letter M and it says M comes from MEM, which is the letter or for water in Hebrew. So when I always pull the word apart, like remember or memory or memoirs,
Yes.
membrane, mem is actually the word for water. So when you look at the word remember, you've got RE, which is again in water. Your house is the letter B and ER is watchful. So you're reflecting. So everything that you see MEM, and that's got me in it as well as mother, because in Hebrew, EM is mother, M. So, and that's a sort like, oh, I could go, I won't, you know, it's deep, but yeah, the letters, writing and undoing the spell, I don't think anybody actually has done that completely.
That would be a daunting task.
Yeah, look, I
that
don't
would be.
think, because,
But
well, I do think,
where does it? Where do you end up when you do that? I mean, is there an end? There's no end, is there?
You know, that's why I was going to say, James, probably your best bet is, like she said, just get a dictionary and start going through it yourself and, you know, using
Yeah.
your discernment.
yeah, because like in normal little dictionaries we have now, well, they don't explain and half the words aren't in it. And these have pictorials as well. So one of them, like when that certain thing that started a couple of months ago, I knew what it was meaning. It was activating our core owner, because we are the core owner of our building, our house. And when you look up the architecture in this book, it actually shows you where it sits in a piece of structure. You know, you have your spine and your, you know, your backbone and your all of that in your building. So when you're building the house, it starts off with all these different parts. If you look at a pillar, and at the top of it, it has the fascia and the name of this certain thing that's going around that sits up here.
Yep.
And I knew they were talking about activating this when they actually gave it that name. And the fascia, which is the fascia that goes around your house, that's our membrane. And see the word mem in it? It's your water brain. And that's what's being activated now in our body is our fascia. Tis you, tis you. Your tissues being activated. The actual chakra system's being, well, I got that message that it's
Nature is giving
Upgraded. It's
Yeah,
been
and
upgraded.
shock to
and
the
our
system.
fascia is taking over, our membrane, our tissue. Tis you, tis you. And that's what we're doing is we're remembering. Remember? Membrane. It's your water brain that's around your whole body. And so we're remembering all the things that we've done.
You know what's funny is that just that one trigger word
Exactly.
has so many different activations for other people. For some people, it activated fear. For us, it was an activation of, like you were saying, the crown. It, you know, it was like this big calling, and it was just however you perceive it.
Yeah, as soon as I saw what they said, I go, activate now, crown.
Right.
That's awesome.
Exactly what I heard
People are
too.
going so far to say is that hydrochloric, whatever that stuff is called, you know, that they, you know, what's his face is pushing, you know, that drug or whatever that for the cure, that that is somehow decalcifying said house of light, you know.
It does.
Yeah, well, it's a part, it's a bark. I went and looked it up. It's a bark from a tree. And we are, if you look at the word treasure, it's trees you are, because these are limbs and we do get knots in our muscles. You know, we are, you know, go out in the limb.
See, the word salad just does not ever end, does it? I mean,
That's what I'm saying. It's a huge rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's like,
Well, listen, we went about an hour and 20. I'm going to give each one of y'all a little, you know, final thought, so to say. So who wants to start us off?
Can I?
Yes, please.
I would just like to say to everybody, first and foremost, life is truly about choices, and, you know, make good choices, be good to other people, show love, always come from a place of love. If you don't agree with people, keep your mouth shut. And, you know, just be the best you can be. Be the best version of you that you can be. I think that's pretty much sums it up.
Well said.
thank you.
Next.
I can go. No, I just want to say happy birthday and thanks for having me on, and thanks for everything we've done since I've got to know everyone here. I know I can be elusive at times too, but I mean, this is really good for me, and this brings me to you know, just where I'm supposed to be. I mean, you know,
it's funny.
Souls here are amazing. So, and happy birthday to everybody. Happy birthday, Steve. Happy birthday, Brian.
And I want to say, hey, man, I'm glad I clashed heads with you, because you want to know something? We both grew from it. So
absolutely. And that is actually how we grow a lot of times. You know, I mean, everything's
from that, yes.
Yeah, changing and fluid, right? You got to be fluid like
Change
water.
is
I
good.
guess, you know?
Change is good.
Enlightenment is a destructive process.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's funny, what you were saying about being elusive. Like, I don't think it's just you, Kent. Like, I've been feeling the same thing. Like, I've literally went into hermit mode. You know, the only people I talk to is when I come on these shows, and I talk to my mom, you know, probably every other day at least. That's it. Like, I just hadn't wanted to talk to anybody. Like, I've been bad on emails. It's just, I don't know. I went into seclusion, but y'all know, anybody that knows me, I do that every now and then.
Somebody has some recordings of you talking to yourself a lot, though. I know, I've heard.
Excuse me?
Come on, man.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
I would like to have some recordings of me talking to myself, to be honest with you.
Wouldn't that be something to listen back to?
Oh, yeah.
Did I say that?
Man, has anybody else been going like, man, my dreams, like, there was a long period of time there when I wasn't dreaming for a long time. And now it's like, as soon as my eyes close, it's like straight into this crazy dream. And then I'll wake back up and then fall asleep again. It'll be into another crazy dream. And then I'll wake back up and I'm like, what is going on? Is anybody else going through that?
Yes.
Your subconscious is trying to get your attention.
Oh, it's got it.
Yeah.
It's got it for sure.
I'm reading that Betty Bethard's dream book on my channel, and it is an amazing book, and it's some interesting tools on how to remember your dreams, how to decipher them. My dog wants out. Hi.
I don't know if I want to
My
decipher some of
favorite
these.
dream book
Can I just
person
say-
of all time.
Yeah, well,
Always.
with
Yeah.
the dreams.
The
The other
best.
day when you had your show on, I watched it talking about the dream, and I'd just woken from a dream, and it was at my first home we lived in, which was 8 Phoenix Lane, right? So here's the infinity symbol rising from the ashes, and I was actually throwing out rubbish, throwing out fruit and veggies at my old home in the dream. And what I'm actually doing is I don't eat dinner anymore, so I'm actually getting rid of a whole heap of old manure out of the body.
You're
And
getting
so
rid of the rubbish.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was throwing it out the back door, and I
Yep.
woke up and then I wrote about it. So it was really, and it was timely because you were talking about dreams, and I'd just woken up and was writing about it.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
Wow.
I've got one poem. I'll go one little short poem because I'm going heading down the coast to see my son. We're going to see him this afternoon. We've got the Now's Bride. So
Okay.
righto. Oops, the wires are crossed, and in the message the words are lost. A metaphor, what do they mean? Something different, never seen. Real eyes are open now. Still the paradox is in the how. Opposed sight, polarity too, depends entirely up to you.
Absolutely. I love it.
Good one. Good one.
It's awesome.
Very good.
So we've had Kent. So who wants to go there? And we've had you. So Robert.
Yeah. You want me to go another one?
Well, it's a final thought. Whatever you want to say.
Oh.
We're wrapping her up.
Oh, okay. Well, I got one last one, and this was The Day Is Done.
All right.
Found that one. It was pretty good. It's kind of short. Okay. The day is done, and the darkness falls from the wings of night as a feather is wafered down from an eagle in his flight. I see the lights of the village gleam through the rain and the mist, and a feeling of sadness comes over me that my soul cannot resist. A feeling of sadness and longing that is not akin to pain and resembles sorrow only, as the mist resembles rain. Come read to me some poem, some simple and heartfelt lay that shall soothe the restless feeling and banish the thoughts of day. Now, not from the grand old masters, not from the bards sublime, whose distant footsteps echo through the corridors of time. For like the strains of martial music, their mighty thoughts suggest life's endless toil and endeavor, and tonight I long to rest. Read from some hummer poet whose songs gush from the heart as showers from clouds of summer, or tears from the eyelids start. Whose thought long days of labor and nights devoid of ease still heard in his soul the music of wonderful melodies. Such songs have power to quiet the restless pulse of care and come like the benediction that follows after prayer. The read from the treasured volume, the poem of thy choice, and lend to the rhyme of the poet and the beauty of thy voice. And the night shall be filled with music, and the cares that infest the day shall fold their tents like the Arabs and as silently steal away. There you go.
Thank you, Robert.
Project.
Yeah.
I think we'll let Trina go next and then wrap it up with the birthday boy.
Awesome. Well, all I want to say is, remember, you are the threefold flame of life, and that's your opportunity to become the Christ.
Wow,
Well
so
said. Well
short and
said.
sweet. Love it.
Mhm.
Thanks,
Birthday
Karina.
boy, what you got
Birthday.
down there? All king pimping laid back. What's going on?
Talking to me?
Yeah, yes, sir. It's your birthday.
Well, all I got to say is, you know, what was it? The roses are red, grass is greener. If you think I'm wearing a mask, you can.
Love, chicken grease, and peace or something.
Love it, Steve. I love that.
Very
That's
true.
funny.
We are in this place, in this now. We are here. We are here because we are here now, and we are here because we want to be. So you know what?
Absolutely.
Let's just live, love, and I like to say, live inward and love outward, and nothing can phase us. You know, and that's, you know, that's a little cliche, but hey,
Mm.
That's good.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank
Happy
you
birthday.
all for being here. Like truly, it means the world for y'all being here, and everybody in chat. Thank you for being here.
Love you
Yeah.
guys.
You know, I'm truly humbled every day by the love and not just from y'all. I mean, it's all of us coming together. Like I said, I know we found each other. We sought each other out, and we're
Soul
bound.
Tribe.
Yeah, and I promise you, we have great things to come. And once we start testing our abilities and actually working with them, look out, the sky's the limit. So, and actually, the sky's not even the limit.
That's it.
That's
So-
right.
That
And
should be a
beyond.
great focus upon the next year, is really seeking our abilities, seeking who we are, and which we've all been doing. And it would be cool to bring it to the forefront. And you know, you're so right, Steve. I mean, we're here, like, and there's no force in government or any other worldly or manly thing that can tell us the way that we need to live. We live when we go internal and know we should live and know what we should be
All about
seeking,
right
and
Live on your
that's
own
it.
terms.
Yeah,
That's the
live on our own terms. I mean,
Be yourself. Be your
without
authentic
harming
self.
others, you know, but live on your own terms.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, cool. Like I said, once again, thank you all. Namaste to everybody out there. I love you all. Let's get together and change this world one person at a time. Until
Let's do it.
tomorrow, I think I'm coming back tomorrow. I don't know. I know I'll be back Sunday. But until then, be the frequency you want to receive, folks. I love you all immensely. Good night. Happy birthday, Steve.